Private aviation in the Bahamas gets a strong backing from a foreign company. And a new management team at BEC could be revealed in a few days. So don't go anywhere. The Bahamas Tonight, the weekend edition, starts now.
Now in HD. ZNS Network presents The Bahamas Tonight. This portion of the news brought to you by BTC Every Day.
Good evening, I'm LaDawn Davis and welcome to the Bahamas Tonight, the weekend edition. Thanks so much for tuning in. Topping the news tonight, a new partnership agreement could take the local aviation sector to a new level. Executive Flight Support has secured a joint accord with one of the leading business aviation services in the world. The partnership with Jet Aviation is expected to enhance operations in the private aircraft charter industry, aviation management, as well as general aircraft services. Both companies signed a fixed-based operator management agreement last evening, setting the pace for the start of joint operations right here in the Bahamas. Jared Higgs reports.
Jet Aviation Nassau. That's the new name of Executive Flight Support after they struck a deal with international company Jet Aviation. Managing Director of Jet Aviation Nassau, Mr. Alfonso Bo, says the deal was a no-brainer.
We've signed a management agreement and a partnership that allows us to pull on Jet Aviation's global know-how, customer service, and network to build our product service here in the Bahamas. So the facility is still locally owned. We have an alliance with the best aviation company in the world, in our opinion.
Jet Aviation is a subsidiary of General Dynamics. It has offices all over the world, and as former President Gary Dempsey tells us, the company's global outreach will only benefit the Bahamas.
We have maintenance and support in the U.S. And completions for interiors. We have FBOs in Middle East, all over that region, also Asia. We find that our clients that are both investors as well as residents of a lot of these regions, the Bahamas have become a very good location for our clients to come and visit as well as make investments.
Deputy Prime Minister the Honourable Philip Brave Davis and Minister of State for Investments the Honourable Kalis Roll were given a tour of the Jet Aviation aircraft. Mr. Davis says he expects the strategic partnership to bring positive results for both the company and the country as a whole.
It only could all go well for the boosting of aviation travel, private aviation travel for the Bahamas. And it is having regard to the capacity and strength of the strategic partner that he's involved with. It only could all go, as I said, well for him and the country.
Minister Roll, on the other hand, is intimately familiar with the former Executive Flight Support, having encouraged the owners to undertake the project.
We had a distributor that actually operated in the aviation business called Clear Air. And Clear Air wanted to exit the business, and I had a conversation with Alfonso Bo about taking over the facility that Clear Air operated from, and they ended up purchasing Clear Air, ended up investing a lot of money in the facility that you see here today.
Executive Flight Support was voted the top aviation center in the Caribbean for 3 consecutive years. Operating as Jet Aviation Nassau, they will hope to make that 4. Jared Higgs, ZNS Network News.
In a few hours, a Bahamian delegation will be flying off to the U.S. Capitol. Newly appointed chairman of CARICOM, Prime Minister Perry Christie, leads a ministerial delegation to Washington, D.C. tomorrow to participate in the inaugural Caribbean Energy Security Summit. Mr. Christie is scheduled to deliver the policy position of both CARICOM and the Bahamas. The summit will be hosted by United States Vice President Joseph Biden. While in Washington, the Prime Minister will meet with the United States Secretary of State John Kerry, the Secretary General of CARICOM, his fellow CARICOM heads of government, and hold a briefing with the Bahamas Embassy and consulate staff in Washington, D.C. The Prime Minister's delegation will include the Minister of Foreign Affairs, Fred Mitchell, Minister for the Environment, Kenrick Dorsett, and Bahamas Ambassador to Washington, His Excellency Eugene Nuri. The delegation returns to the capital on Wednesday night. Well, shortly after that summit, Bahamian consumers could learn more about a new management agreement for the Bahamas Electricity Corporation. Deputy Prime Minister and Minister of Public Works Philip Davis, who has responsibility for BEC, confirming to ZNS News that an announcement will be made as early as next week.
The model will be one partner who will be charged with the responsibility of the transmission and distribution and the generation. The matter is now with the Prime Minister, and he has indicated that he will await his return from a visit he's having next week as head of the CARICOM region, where the question of energy will be discussed with the Vice President of the United States.
Meantime, efforts underway to enhance food production here in this country. Executives of the Ministry of Agriculture, Marine Resources, and local government have launched two very important initiatives to promote food production in the country. Yesterday, the annual exposition and its Community Farming Project 2015 were announced. The Bahamas Agricultural, Marine Resources and Agribusiness Expo 2015 is being touted to be the biggest and best to come. Officials say this year's expo has grown to include a total of 15 islands. Minister of Agriculture, Marine Resources V. Alfred Gray says the government's ultimate objective is to achieve food security.
It is expected that there will be 130 vendors. These vendors are expected to exhibit and offer for sale items in the following categories: ornamentals, vegetables, root crops, fruits, poultry, marine products, handicraft, livestock, agricultural farm products, school agricultural exhibits, and native drinks.
The first expo will begin on the island of Eleuthera on February 20th and ends in Mayaguana on April 25th. Minister Gray says Community Farming 2015 is designed to reduce the country's import bill of $900 million, encourage self-reliance, reduce food costs, and produce nutritious food.
The majority of the foods we import are produced by large agribusinesses around the world, which may sometimes use chemicals input of which we know very little. But when we do our backyard gardening or backyard farming, we know what we plant, we know what we reap.
While there is still tension in the labor sector over the recent termination of a group of employees from the Melia Resort, Bahamas Senior Vice President of External Affairs Robert Sands told our news team this week that those 8 employees were terminated because the company was not satisfied with their performance during a probationary period. But General Secretary of the Bahamas Hotel Catering and Allied Workers Union Darren Woods says the terminations from the Melia Nassau Beach Resort were in breach of the union's industrial agreement.
The contract spells out the time, the duration of anyone's probationary period. It says if I work, if I'm hired, if my probationary period is 1 week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, once my probationary period has passed, I cannot be terminated except for just cause. Just cause is listed in our industrial agreement. Bahama, Melia cannot create new terms and conditions for anyone who's coming onto that property. Cannot. If they create new terms and conditions, that is where we have the problem. So we have indicated to them that we need to talk about those 8 people. They have to show us where the persons, because based on the information that we would have gotten, those persons were employed from October